So hello again, chess lovers. This is Robert Dreamrealist back here with another chess game using the universal Dreamrealist chess system, also called Butterfly. So I just played this game and it's quite fresh to me, but I will try to guide you through the thoughts I had when I played it. Let's start. So, this time I had black, and you see, the same way that I did in the first game that I posted yesterday. And the thing with this opening system is that it's, as I call it, a butterfly. It means it can adapt. It can adapt with any color, like a butterfly can do, or a chameleon can do. So it adapts to the nature around it. So it can take advantage of the nature around it, the background around it. Hide in the background, or take advantage of it and attack from the shadows into the, you know, whatever the target is, or whatever the goal is for the butterfly. In butterfly, it's the honey, right? Or a flower, and chameleon, yeah, I don't know, whatever they eat. I have no clue what they eat. Anyway, let's move on with the game. So, the same way as I opened yesterday, if you recall, but now it's reversed colors, but I still do the same moves. But nota bene, that you have to make sure that you don't always play mindlessly these 4 moves, because then you will fail, utterly fail. There are other variations where you completely crash if you play it like this all the time. But this is the main road, so to speak, and you can keep playing with this in mind. But you have to learn all the other variations, of course. But you do that with time, as I did. Anyway, yes, by the way, I played more than, I don't know, I actually have no clue how many games I played, but close to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 games. Some of them not so very focused, some of them quite focused, and yeah. So with mixed results, of course, but now I've started to win pretty big part of the games I play, and that's the goal, of course, with any open system that you choose to use. Okay, let's move on. Another video with a lot of chit-chatting, but I hope you enjoy my extra journeys into my chess world. Okay, so let's go on. So he you know, strong players often play these fianchettos and, like, you know, waiting moves and developing moves, and not really very aggressively in the beginning. They want to build up their position, so you can expect that. But with less strong players, you can expect some more aggressive moves, more tactical moves. Then you have to be prepared for that. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, and here I play, well, I am pretty aggressive here, and you can choose. You don't have to play this aggressively. I like to try to break the barriers of this opening and really force the opponent to feel stressed, because I want to play aggressive and dynamic games. I don't want to have too static and too strategical moves. I mean, I have no problem playing it, but I prefer more dynamic games, more sharp games. Okay, so the white castles, and now I play h6, and that means that I am preparing a sort of an attack, but it will take a while until I'm consolidated enough to actually attack. So he exchanged, he he needs some lines to be able to use his queen, of course. And now he plays the bishop in the middle here. I don't know, it's a common move in this situation, more or less. And I develop my pieces. The knight has to come out in the center here and try to dominate or at least control the board. These 4 squares are extremely important to control, and this knight controls these squares right now, and this pawn controls this and this square, and this pawn this and this. So those 3 pieces control, I mean not control, but they kind of put pressure on those points. And so those 4 squares are extremely important to try to gain control over. At least make sure that the white or the opponent doesn't take control over it completely or dominate it. Okay, let's move on. The queen goes to b6. Yeah. And now I take advantage of his sloppy, sort of sloppy piece placement. I mean, I don't see the point of putting a queen there when I can put the bishop there. But yeah, I was expecting some more subtle variations here, but it never came. So now he plays a rook just to get the line against the queen and be able to push the knight over here, so I can't at some point take it, because then the pawn will take back and forth, threaten another piece, and then I will get in a really tactical, get into some tactical trouble, and I try to avoid that. One of my blitz tactics, actually I will give you lessons in blitz later on, but this is mainly for the opening at the moment. But right now I am trying to focus on what is the plan of my opponent. Actually, if you want to be a good player, that is the first thought you have to have in mind at every move, because it's the most time optimal strategy to use your time. For example, in blitz, it's really critical that you use those few seconds you have in the most optimal way. For example, in standard chess, you can, think about a lot of stuff, what you had for breakfast and whatever, and then you can move on to the game, and then you can think about some tactics that happen after you want to play a specific move, and then you can go back to your breakfast thought again and then decide, yeah, okay, I will do the move. I mean, you have a lot of thoughts that you can think before you make a move, and you will not lose the game, because it's all, you have too much time to think, in standard chess. But in blitz or in bullet chess, you really have to be extremely efficient and think the first efficient thought immediately, and that is, what is the plan of my opponent? What is the next move? What is the opponent's strategy? What is the opponent's tactics? And then, of course, the next step is, what is my best move? What is my best strategy? My best tactics? And one thing is quite clear, is that no player on earth play a perfect game. Not even chess computers, like Stockfish, the strongest chess engine in the world, more or less at the moment, 3,400 ELO or something. Not even that one makes perfect moves. So with that fact as a truth to really rely on, then you have to realize that during the game your opponent will make a mistake, and you have to be watching for that move at every move. And then, I mean, the opponent has the same chance. You will make a mistake in your game, and the lesser rating you have, the less strength you have, you will do more mistakes. And so the opponent has more chance to actually spot your mistakes than you have spotting your strong opponent's mistakes. But he will or she will make a mistake. You can trust on that, and you can bet on that. Okay, that was a little side story about how to think in blitz chess. Let's move on with the game. Okay, knight. I always try to, you know, as like I told in the first game I reviewed, that you have to consolidate the weak spots, the weak squares, and of course you have to develop your pieces. And then here I see you see that I do a similar way that I did in the game number 1, where I didn't castle until much later, and I made sure that I had 2 options to castle. You can't get that chance in every game, but if you can get the chance, why not take it? Because you stall your opponent's thoughts, their plans, and you know, if you play the game, if you know the game Strategio, and this is actually where I got the idea from Strategio to chess, because in Strategio you have to make sure that your king is hidden and that your opponent doesn't know where the king is. And in chess, of course, it's a quite open game. So if you castle, then you for sure know where the king is. But in Strategio, every piece is hidden at first. Then you can send some scouts to check where the strongest pieces are, where the flag is, and so on and so forth. But in chess, you have one option, and that is to wait with your castling. Have an opportunity to castle twice, like doubly in two directions, like short or long. Why not take that chance? So that is one of my blitz tricks and also chess tricks. It's actually quite a good. I know that a lot of chess players and chess books and masters recommend an early castling, but to be honest, castling is a slacky move. It should be done only when it really needs to be done. But of course, if you want to play on the safe side, why not castle? But make sure by castling you give your opponent information, intelligence, and that is kind of not really optimal. Okay, let's move on again. So my opponent now tries some tricks on the flank. And yeah, I have a weak spot here. That is one of the issues by doing these kind of moves, and I know that because I play it a lot. But I also have a response for that, of course. So let's see. Yeah, so I move with the king to protect that square. And yeah, you see, the king is kind of safe at the moment. There is not really a lot of stuff threatening it. So I mean, I didn't even castle in this game, and that's another option. That's a third option. And psychologically, it kind of throws the opponent a little bit. Like, what the hell is this kind of player? He doesn't even castle. He had an opportunity to castle both long and short, and he still didn't do it. And that kind of pokes them a little bit in their ego and in their self-confidence, and also they couldn't predict my moves. That kind of gives them a little shake. And chess is about that, especially blitz chess. It's about shaking the opponent, using any kind of psychology, chess psychology, human psychology, whatever, just to get an advantage, both in time, position, and in a tactical way, right? Okay, let's move on. Now you see, kind of, he even backtracked from that move that I said was a bad move. He's a strong player. He had 2300, and he still makes these bad moves, these unsharp moves. And now he knows that, and it kind of hits his ego. Like, he had to back up his queen from a position where he had chosen to put it. And yeah, that's another blow towards this chess player's ego. So I'm grinding him down bit by bit here. Okay. And Once again, I check the plan of my opponent. What is the primary target of my opponent? Here is really easy to spot that, right? He moves his strongest piece over to another diagonal, and of course I can see it immediately in split seconds because I focus on what my opponent's moves are. And this is optimal. You have to do that in every move. What is the next? What is the plan? What is the next tactical move? What is the strategical thoughts in that move? Okay, because they could be both, right? All right, let's move on. So yeah, you know, another one of those consolidating moves, which is like, okay, I mean, he obviously, I could have taken that pawn, but yeah, I mean, look at that. If I had chosen to take the pawn, what would that give? You would just give some really nasty check, discover attacks and stuff. You know, the queen can take the bishop, and then the knight can threaten and stuff. And it's kind of dangerous. You should always play safe. Play moves that you can oversee, understand, calculate. And if you feel it's too overwhelming, don't do it. Okay? So let's go back. Okay, so now I choose to go with my knight to attack his knight through the bishop and his bishop with my knight. That way he gets confused. He can get a double pawn here through my bishop. He also can get a double pawn here. The question is, what will he choose? It will take some calculations for sure. And in Blitz, that could mean another 5 seconds, another 15 seconds in a situation like this. Then of course, strategically it's good to have a knight all over the here. And you protect that pawn doubly, and you have these really sensitive squares because the queen can check through that diagonal, and of course in some variations it can even sacrifice here, and you can, yeah, I mean, it's not very obvious here, but sometimes it can even sacrifice here. But yeah, this is a pretty good move, I think. So let's move on. Yeah, so he backs up his bishop. He's scared of my knights. He feels his bishop is worth more, and normally that's what player thinks. It is worth more, and it is a statical appreciation of a piece, and you should never think like that. You should always value every position, and then decide, yeah, okay, this pawn is not that much worth, or this bishop is really a lot worth, and this knight can be sacrificed or whatever. You should always play dynamically, never statically. That is another chess lesson, especially in Blitz, also in standard chess, of course. Blitz is a special variant of standard chess. I will go in deeper what the difference are between Blitz and standard chess and rapid chess and bullet chess later. But at the moment I don't have the time to go through all those details, but I will one day in one video or a series of videos probably. Okay, let's move on. Here I decide to give him a double pawn because that pawn gets really weak. That's my main goal. Also, this diagonal here opens up, and I have a chance to do something crazy there. So you have to think more than in one focus. You also have to think in what happens after that, and so on. So that's why I did that. Okay, he takes. Yeah, not much choice. And then I did follow up with my queen. Of course, I moved away from that diagonal, but I thought that, okay, I can always play with that thing in my ideas as a sneaky idea later on. I can focus on the primary target to get a pawn. Here he threatened my knight, and I was thinking pretty hard. I probably thought quite long here. I was thinking if I could do something like, you know, like take the pawn, he will take, and then I will take with either the queen or the pawn, and then try to do something crazy like push the pawn here. But I couldn't really see any continuation to that. I mean, no, there has to be more pieces to back that up. So I chose to back up the knight because I was plus on time. You can't see exactly how much plus I was, but I was really plus on time, and I was thinking, hey, why not just play normally and just let him have his crazy position here, and let him do the thinking for a while, and then regroup and then attack again. You know, because I already got my main target to shake him and get him a weakness, and then my next plan is to shake him again. But now I back up and save energy and time and just wait for another way to attack him. So this is my plan. This is what I'm thinking strategically at the moment, right now. Right. So now he kind of ignores his problems with his pawn here and so on. He knows he has to do something creative here. He has to get some lines, and he has to get his pieces in action, and so on. So he attacks my queen indirectly. I mean, pretty indirectly, and of course I immediately, as I said, what is his plan? Move out of his plan. Make him think again. This is what I did. It took me a split second. He has to form a new plan. I mean, my move took me a split second, and my thought about his moves took me a split second. While he has to reform a new plan, it can take 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds sometimes. Okay, so that was another blitz tip. Okay, he opens up, places his bishop again on his favorite square. He loves that square. He even sacrificed his position for that bishop and this square. Okay, now he's like, yeah, he's playing his favorite moves, and now I'm punishing him for it. So I push, because now I have really an aggressive pawn here. I open up the diagonal for that pawn, attack. This pawn attacks the bishop. This bishop can go here, and stuff opens up here. Like I can go here, queen can come here, I can push stuff here, and rooks are connected, I can double them. So now we start to see that all my pieces are in action. Now I just have to find a way to really attack him. But at the same time, it's very important that I don't get attacked. So I have to start to think about counterattacks. At the moment, it's me who attacks. That's fine. And so I attack again. And now the queen moves here. So now we have he kind of identified not a weak spot, but yeah, this is a weak spot here. I mean, he wants to get rid of the strong queen, and I can understand that. But also he wants to get his rooks doubled, so that's why this square is important for him. And well, it's not that much I can do, except force him to feel a little bit scared. But of course, he can exchange his queens if he wants. And here I was like, what should I do? Should I really exchange queens? But on the other hand, move away with the queen is also like a psychological disadvantage. Like, you don't want to show any kind of weakness against your opponent. I mean, you have to do it if that's the best move. But if you can avoid it, always try to oppose the opponent and never give in to the opponent's wishes. Like, he wants to have territory here, and I don't want to back up my queen and give him space, because that is like a psychological disadvantage, but also positionally, of course, it's stupid. So you have to think in a couple of planes in every move. Right. I took, because I was thinking, hey, I don't really need a queen that close to my king and give him all that leeway, So I just need to get rid of his stuff and make sure that I can use his bad pawn structure and actually win a pawn or a rook line that gives something. Okay, he took back. Knight, I moved away with the knight just to get rid of his strong rook formation here. Potential rook formation, doubling of the rooks and stuff. You don't want that if you can avoid that. Well, he tries anyway, and of course he plays. He's a strong player. He's 2300. I mean, you don't joke around with players like that. So I take, and he takes. Now at least I don't have a double rooks to oppose and fight and defend myself against. But now I start to see I kind of start to see a little plan here. Like I get a really strong bishop here. This is why I start to do this move, and I wanted to just exchange stuff and get a really strong bishop here. I know that he can take that pawn, but I get the rook line, I get a strong bishop. So here I didn't see what would come, but I was thinking in dynamic patterns like, hey, I want to have a really dynamic piece and two pieces that are really dynamic. And I'm even willing to sacrifice a pawn for it. So he took. Here I am with my strong bishop going in every direction. He can go here, and then he can move here and start to like domino effect with the pawns, right? And it can attack that really weak pawn, and yeah, stuff like that. It's a really powerful piece. And now, of course, he can do, you know, my strategy had a weakness, but I had to calculate that weakness when I start to think about my strategy. Otherwise, I mean, you are one step behind. You have to be one step ahead, always, at least maybe even 2 or 3 steps ahead if you can. But it's of course really hard against strong players. Anyway, here I am at the you can sort of say the Achilles of this game. And the opponent is really, he was thinking a lot here. He was like, what the heck can I do? He saw probably the check, but he didn't see the stuff that came after the check. He didn't appreciate my bishop in the way he should have. Like, like, this is a strong bishop, and you really have to watch out for that bishop. So he should have thought about that immediately when I placed the bishop there. Like, heck, that is a really strong bishop. Okay, so now he makes a completely bad evaluation of the position. Of course, he didn't have that much time, but come on, he has like 70 seconds. Is really a lot for a player of this strength. And here I actually think the psychology in the game broke him. He got stressed, and he could not. He should have thought defense here in this moment. His ego was a little bit too big, and he started to continue to think aggressively instead of thinking defensively. And I think it was because I kind of through my game and my moves, I angered him, and he wanted to really play aggressively and try to win that way. And he didn't want to back up with the rook, because that would of course be the only move to play in this situation. Instead, he took the pawn, which is like crazy in this situation. So I attack his. I potentially attack his bishop through that line, and his rook is out of the play completely. There's nothing to do. Yeah, he can take some pawns, but I have much harder threats. And that's another meta rule in Blitz and in any chess game, that always be the one with a stronger threat, with a heavier idea, with a heavier impact with your idea. And I have the heavier impact at the moment. I can threaten to take a bishop. He can threaten to take a pawn. So you see, here, of course, he has these ideas. But it's not the heavier threat. This is the heavier threat. And he completely missed that. And then it's a checkmate. And of course that must have come as a shock for him. And yeah, let's also do an analysis of the game as I do normally. request computer analysis, and you can learn from your mistakes here. This is a really good tool. The engine is 2500 elo, and it's enough for most players to learn from. And there is a theory why I mean, that there's even a logic why they just agreed to have a computer that was thinking in 2500 elo max. I can talk about that in some other video one day about chess computing, and generally I will make a video about that. Okay, it needs a little bit of time to think here to get the analysis finished, but let's look at you see 3 inaccuracies and 2 mistakes, and I had 3 mistakes and 1 inaccuracy, 1 blunder. So I was actually the one who did 1 mistake more actually, and kind of unusual when I win this way, but let's look at that and see where that happened. So I had black, and you can see that at one point I was really ahead with 3.3 here, and that was when I had the chance to that was okay. Okay, yeah, it looks like I mean pretty good. I mean, I more or less own the center, and I own the flank. My king is absolutely safe. He has some threats here with that diagonal I talked about before, and yeah, stuff looks really good here. So that was around the time when he moved up the bishop here. Okay, let's check another. Yeah, so he actually had some good spots actually in the game. We can check them out, like here. That's almost 2 pawns up. So the computer thinks that it was pretty ahead. I mean, white player was ahead here with 2 pawns material, 1.9, and it even has an idea to take that pawn, and I can't really see the is there some trick here? Okay, it's pretty. I missed that actually, because can I take it back? I'm not sure I can take it back. No, I can't. Let's do this. Doesn't recommend that, and I will say just recommends canceling it. This one I missed, and that's a good thing to analyze every game afterwards, because then you get less. You get more thoughtful in the next Blitz game, because you know in the last game you made a blunder, and you have to remember those blunders and play much more sharp and much more sound, because you know this is a typical situation where it can happen very often like that. Okay, we have another situation here, and here white actually had a good spot in place, as I talked about before, but there is also a counterplay. And this was really complex, and you know, it's hard to see those in the 3-minute blitz. Of course, in standard chess, you have to see those moves, and you should be able to see those also in really advanced blitz levels. I didn't see it, I have to admit that. But it's a 2500 elo computer, and sometimes you miss things like that. But it's important to know that they exist, and that's why I always analyze my blitz games afterwards. getting hungry, and I think I'm gonna wrap up this video pretty quick here. Let me just take a bit of chocolate, okay, and some tea. Okay, there's just one more point I want to show you, and this is yeah. So I'm really ahead here. I'm like, how much? Oh, it's even a, yeah, it's a forced mate in 2 here. Yeah, that's true. Because once it took, yeah, of course. So I was completely winning here. It goes flat out here. Okay, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video. There was a lot of talk this time, and maybe I was too chatty this time, but I hope you learned something from it. And thank you for watching and listening, and have a great chess day. And don't forget that the Norway Open has more or less is going to start really soon, and it's going to be an amazing tournament. And I might do a video about it because I like to analyze a few games. Let me know if you want me to make a video about it, and then I will for sure do it. But and also give me comments and give me ideas about what you want to hear. What kind of videos you want, and I will try to make your wishes come true. I have 3 channels. One is this universal system. Another channel is Chess in a New Light, and the third channel that I haven't really thought completely yet about exactly what to do with that channel. But look out for those channels, and share my videos, and comment away, and have a great chess day. See you later. Bye.